Good Tuesday morning, everybody. It's Tim Drudge here once again. It's a view from the South Stands, and I'm coming to you a little late. TFC played on Sunday evening, and I'm only able now to fit some time on Tuesday morning to sit down and come up with my video thoughts. I've got my dog here this morning. He's making some noise. Maybe he'll make an appearance later. I don't know. Anyway, I just want to quickly cover off very briefly the game, and I want to try to set up the very exciting home opener that's coming this coming Saturday at BMO Field against FC Dallas, and I'll do that in a few minutes. I also want to try to put the road trip and some revelations that I think we've collectively had on this road trip out there as well, about what sort of team we have to cheer for in the 2016 campaign. I want to start with the game. Looking back on it, when I originally saw it, I'm like, yeah, that goal that TFC conceded early on, the one where Drew Moore got kind of turned a little inside out, a little out of position, and Portland got an early goal, was down to some defensive lapses on the part of Toronto FC. Looking at the highlight again, I would give as much credit to the Portland Timbers, the current MLS champions, as I would, throw scorn upon what was, in retrospect, probably one of the only two, perhaps, poor goals out of the 8 that Toronto FC has conceded so far, the 7, I should say, that Toronto FC has conceded so far this season. If you take that goal and a goal that they conceded also, coincidentally, on turf in New England. So, it's one of the only two sort of poor defensive efforts, and I'm going to get to the overall defensive effort on the road trip in a few minutes. But Toronto FC was defeated by a good play and then a great play. Valeri's wonder strike, probably going to be MLS goal of the week. And speaking of players of the week, the Portland backup keeper, Gleason, whose first name kind of escapes me right now, made it onto the team of the week, because if he hadn't have played, and if just a keeper who was having an average day was playing instead of a keeper who probably had a career day was playing in the name of Gleason on the weekend, I think that Toronto FC might have actually been able to scrape a point, or maybe, dare I say, even a win out of the game in Portland. So a hot keeper was the difference, I think, between either a point and 3 points. Again, road games, what are you trying to do? You're trying to give yourself a chance to come away with a point. The Reds gave themselves that chance on Sunday, but it just didn't come off. So I'm not going to be terribly upset losing a game in Portland, especially considering that, especially I think in the second half, the performance was significantly improved from what we saw in the first half. So, the mighty road trip comes to an end. Toronto FC only, by the way, has to leave the Eastern time zone 3 times between now and the end of the season. One of those is to Chicago, which, even though it's a time zone jump of an hour, is one of the closer stadiums that Toronto FC plays in. And they make 2 more trips out west, one to San Jose, I believe, and we might have to go out west, of course, for the Voyageurs Cup as well. So could be 4 trips instead of 3, if I'm not mistaken. But still, that's a wonderful thing to have out of the way, not have to worry so much about significant, by MLS standards anyway, significant travel between now and the end of the campaign. So we're realistically healthy at the end of this road trip. Benoit Cheyrou notwithstanding, the Reds are in pretty decent shape when it comes to injury front, and that's especially important in my mind when they've played some games on turf, Portland, New England, etc. So at the end of the road trip, what do we have? We have Seba being Seba. He's got 6 goals already, of course. Any team that he's in, I think, has a chance to win on the day. Jozy Altidore back from injury, rounding into shape. Maybe not necessarily the shape that we had all anticipated, because right now he's been playing relatively well off of Sebastian Giovinco. And long may that continue. Obviously, we want to see him pop some goals, but at the end of the day, the 3 points is what matters. And Michael Bradley, I think, after maybe 2 years of toiling, I think has finally found his role for Toronto FC. It's breaking up plays. It's that deep lying midfielder. It's sitting back with Will Johnson, and it's starting the attack at the back line. A lot of the good things offensively that have come from Toronto FC this season have come at the beginning, anyways, off the boot of Michael Bradley. So long may that continue as well. We've got the back line, dare I say, sorted. The Reds are leading the league in goals against, and they haven't even played a home game as of yet. Conceding less than a goal a game away is an achievement of some substance and some magnitude, in my humble opinion, by MLS standards. And we'll see, obviously, how that sort of adjusts when they come home, because obviously in front of your home fans you're going to want to take the game to the opposition that shows up. Perhaps the Reds are going to be a little more open defensively than they were on the road. Again, we'll see how Mr. Vanni makes the tactical adjustment starting this coming Saturday against FC Dallas. And speaking of FC Dallas, that's who the Reds play this coming Saturday at BMO Field to open the home campaign and to inaugurate the roofs that we're going to be at least partially covered by going forward from here. Interestingly, when I did a little bit of research, I found out that the Reds haven't beaten FC Dallas in league play at BMO Field since way back in 2007, which was a 4-0 thumping of FC Dallas. Man, I got to get into the coffee here. That was way back in 2007. Cunningham scored, Robinson scored. I remember Ronnie O'Brien. I don't know if he scored that day, but he had a wonderful game down the wings for the Reds. So it's been a while. We're due against FC Dallas, and hopefully that's going to be 3 points for Toronto FC. Now the Reds obviously have been very solid at the back. FC Dallas, not so much so far in the 2016 campaign. They've conceded 17 goals in 10 games, which is, well, candidly not a very impressive number. They've conceded, I think, 7 goals in the last 2 games, so we might be catching them at a good time. Then again, we might be catching them at a bad time. It remains to be seen. Intrinsically, they're a very solid team. They have a lot of depth. They've probably been the best team in Major League Soccer in the last number of years when it comes to actually developing their own players and bringing pieces through their academy. Candidly better, I think, than pretty well anybody else. So what that means when you're facing a team like that is you're facing a team that's got depth at multiple positions all over the park. They don't have a lot of weak spots. They've got pretty workmanlike players that can come in and do a job for them on short notice. So obviously they've had some troubles at the back. Let's hope that continues at least for another week against the mighty Toronto FC. So kickoff is Saturday evening. The weather forecast is going to be sunny. I can't wait to see how amplified my voice is going to be off that big 130-ton roof above us in the south end of the stadium. It'll be interesting to see and hear how that goes. But as we come to the end of this video blog and also come to the end of this road trip, I want to take a look back and say to myself, yeah, I would have taken 11 points. There was some controversy along the way, whether it be officiating decisions, whether it be controversial plays or whatnot. There were some points that TFC maybe didn't deserve to get. There were some points that they probably deserved to get that they didn't get, and I'm thinking it's more the latter than the former. So, by the rub of the green, they could have ended up with 13, 14 points at the end of this road trip. But if you'd asked me at the beginning, back in March, you're coming home to play Dallas, you've got 11 points in the bag, you've hardly got any significant injuries. Again, due respect to Benoit Cheyrou there. Would I've taken it? I would have bitten your hand off. I would have said, hell yeah, I would have taken it. So that's it. We've got a home game starting on Saturday. I look forward to seeing many of you in the stands on Saturday. I want to thank you very much for watching. Come on, you Reds, and we'll see you at BMO Field. Finally, we'll see you at BMO Field this coming Saturday. Thanks for watching.